The graduation ceremony was over. Parents were hugging their kids, taking photos, laughing. I was standing near the exit, waiting for my son, Noah, to finish saying goodbye to his friends. It was a happy day, a milestone, but in a few moments, that feeling would be shattered. That's when his teacher, Mrs. Davis, touched my arm. "Mr. Collins," she said quietly, "can I speak with you for a moment?" Her face wasn't smiling. My heart skipped a beat. Had Noah gotten into some last-minute trouble? We stepped into an empty classroom. The cheerful noise from the hallway faded behind the closed door, and a strange silence fell over the room. She didn't sit down, and neither did I. "I'm not sure how to say this," she began, her voice low and serious. "But I don't think you should let Noah go home today." I let out a nervous laugh. "It had to be a joke, right?" "What? Why?" I asked, my smile feeling unnatural on my face. She took a deep breath, and the words that came next hit me like a physical blow. "Because I believe he may be in danger," she said. "And I think it's coming from inside your home." "That's impossible," I said immediately, the words rushing out. "My son is perfectly safe. My home was a sanctuary, a safe space. This had to be some kind of misunderstanding." She reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. It was thick, worn at the edges, clearly used many times. "I've been documenting this for almost a year," she said, her voice steady. She placed it on the desk between us. It landed with a soft, heavy thud. Inside were drawings, essays, school assignments, all done by my 12-year-old son, Noah. The first thing I saw was a drawing. A small, stick figure boy was standing in a corner, facing the wall. A tall, menacing shadow loomed over him. The shadow had no face, just a dark, empty outline. My stomach twisted. "He always says it's nothing when I ask," she explains softly, "but the themes are consistent. Isolation, fear, a sense of being watched." I felt my chest tighten. I tried to reason with myself. Kids draw strange things. They have wild imaginations. They exaggerate. This couldn't mean what she was suggesting. It just couldn't. Then she showed me the essays. The sentences were simple, written in Noah's familiar handwriting, but the meaning was chilling. One read, "Sometimes people who smile the most are the scariest." Another said, "Sometimes you can't tell the truth because it makes things worse." My hands started to shake. I could feel the blood drain from my face. This wasn't just a child's imagination. This was something else, something real. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "On graduation day." "Because today he wrote something new," she said, and I could hear her voice crack with emotion. She slid a final piece of paper toward me. It was a single, terrifying sentence. "I'm not scared anymore because I know it will end soon." He promised. The room felt like it was closing in on me. The air grew thick and heavy. "Who is he?" I whispered, dreading the answer. Mrs. Davis didn't say a word. She just looked at me with deep, sorrowful eyes. And in that moment, I understood that he was a lie, a cover, a way to talk about the unspeakable. The drive home was a blur. I was in a daze, the teacher's words echoing in my head. Noah sat in the back seat, humming to himself, swinging his legs. He looked happy, normal, the picture of a carefree kid who just graduated. "Did you have a good day?" I asked, my voice sounding hollow and strange in the car. He beamed at me in the rearview mirror. "The best?" he said. "I'm graduating." That night, I didn't sleep a wink. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every memory from the past year. Every argument with my wife, Rachel, every raised voice, every slammed door. I had dismissed it all as normal marital stress, the ups and downs of life. Had I been blind? Rachel noticed my unease. "You're acting strange," she said, her voice laced with a hint of accusation. "Is everything okay? Work stress?" I lied. It was the easiest excuse. The truth was too monstrous to even form in my mind. The next morning, I made an excuse to take Noah out for breakfast, just the two of us. We sat in a booth at his favorite diner. After we ordered, I took a deep breath. "Noah," I started, trying to keep my voice gentle and calm. "Do you feel safe at home?" He stopped chewing his pancakes immediately. He looked down at his plate, refusing to meet my eyes. "Mom says not to talk about that," he said quietly, his voice so small it was almost lost in the diner's morning chatter. Something cold and heavy settled in my stomach. "What about me?" I asked, leaning forward. "You can tell me anything. You know that, right?" He finally looked up. His eyes, usually so bright and full of life, were tired. Too tired for a 12-year-old. "She says you wouldn't believe me," he whispered. That whisper broke something inside me. The idea that my own son was convinced I wouldn't believe him, that I wouldn't protect him, it was unbearable. That night, I confronted Rachel. I didn't accuse. I just asked. I kept my voice level. "Is there something I don't know about Noah, something going on that I'm missing?" Her smile was instant, but it didn't reach her eyes. It was a mask. "Of course not, honey," she replied, her tone light and dismissive. "You're just stressed. He's a happy kid." I watched her carefully as she moved around the kitchen. The way she expertly controlled the conversation, steering it away from anything serious. The way she dismissed my concerns as if they were foolish. The more she tried to appear normal, the more I felt a chilling certainty grow. Later that night, when she was asleep, I checked the house. I walked from room to room, not even sure what I was looking for. I opened closets. I looked behind furniture. Then I went to Noah's room. That's when I found it. A lock. On the outside of his bedroom door. It was new, freshly installed. The next day, I asked her about it. "Why does Noah's door lock from the outside?" Rachel just shrugged as if it were the most normal thing in the world. "He has trouble sleeping. He sometimes wanders. It's for his safety, to keep him from sneaking out at night." The lie was so casual, so believable. But I knew better now. I felt sick to my stomach. I took Noah out again that day. This time, I didn't ask any direct questions. We just walked in the park. I just listened. After a while, I asked casually, "Hey, do you want to stay with me at a hotel tonight? We could order pizza, watch movies." Like a mini vacation. He froze. His entire body went rigid. "She wouldn't like that," he said, his voice flat. That was enough. That was all the confirmation I needed. I couldn't pretend anymore. I couldn't hope it would resolve itself. From the park, I called Child Protective Services. My hands were trembling as I dialed. I didn't know what would happen, what this would do to our family. But I knew I couldn't ignore it for one more second. My son had told me, in his own way, that he needed help. And I was finally listening. The investigation was quiet at first. It started with interviews, observations, and lots of notes. Rachel was a picture of calm cooperation. She was charming, reasonable, concerned, to calm. Then, a therapist spoke to Noah, alone, for over an hour. When they came out of the room, the therapist wouldn't meet my eyes. That was the moment everything changed. Rachel was asked to leave the house that night. There was no shouting, no dramatic scene, no handcuffs. Just quiet professionals and official paperwork. The truth came out slowly, piece by painful piece. It wasn't what I had imagined. Rachel was never physically violent. She was worse. Her weapon was silence. Her method was control. She punished him by withholding affection, by giving him the silent treatment for days on end for tiny infractions. She filled his head with fear, twisting reality until he didn't know what was real. She made promises that things would finally end and be peaceful if he just behaved perfectly. And worst of all, she convinced him that no one would ever believe him. Especially not me. That was the part that broke me more than anything else. The knowledge that she had used my love for him as a tool to isolate him. For weeks after Rachel left, Noah moved into my room. He couldn't sleep alone. Some nights he woke up screaming from nightmares. Other nights he would just lie awake, staring at the ceiling for hours. One night, in the quiet darkness, he asked me the question that will haunt me for the rest of my life. "Dad, why didn't you see it?" I didn't have an answer for him. How could I explain that I was so busy, so caught up in my own world, that I had failed to see the darkness gathering in my own home? Rachel lost custody. There was no jail time, just court-ordered therapy and a restraining order. At the final hearing, she looked directly at me, her face a mask of self-righteousness, and said I was only trying to protect him. That word again, protecting, a word she had twisted into a weapon of control and fear. Noah is healing now. It's a slow and difficult process, but it's honest. He's in therapy, and he's learning to trust again. He draws different pictures these days. Pictures filled with sunlight, open doors, and people with smiling faces that have eyes. Sometimes I still think about his teacher, Mrs. Davis, and the courage it took for her to step forward. I think about how close I came to losing my son, not to a stranger, but to a silence I mistook for peace. We often think of danger as something loud and violent, something that leaves visible marks. But sometimes the most terrifying danger to a child isn't bruises or screams. It's silence. It's control. And it's the devastating lie that love is supposed to hurt. Thank you for listening. If you or someone you know suspects a child is in danger, please reach out to the authorities. Your call could make all the difference. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.